The hand reaches for the phone before the eyes fully open. You are certain that a message arrived while you were asleep. The screen lights up, but the conversation is not there. Your heart is still beating as if the argument actually happened. A dream has spilled into the morning, and it refuses to fade. The memory of a friend's angry voice lingers like a real event. Yet no words were ever spoken, and no one else remembers. This is the puzzle of the dream that feels more real than waking life. Why can a fictional experience leave such deep emotional footprints? The first answer seems obvious. The dream must be about something important. We all suspect that dreams reflect hidden worries or secret wishes. But that explanation only scratches the surface and leaves too much unexplained. To understand dream realism, we have to step inside the sleeping brain. During the night, your brain cycles through different kinds of sleep. The stage called REM, or rapid eye movement sleep, is when the most vivid dreams usually appear. In REM sleep, your eyes dart back and forth beneath closed lids. Meanwhile, your brain becomes almost as active as when you are awake. However, a key part of the brain takes a rest, the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the region right behind your forehead that helps check facts and plan. When it is less active, the brain stops asking whether an experience makes sense. So the dreaming brain builds a story without a fact-checker on duty. That is why you can fly, meet a talking animal, or fight with a friend and never question it. At the same time, emotional centers deep in the brain become highly active. These regions, like the amygdala, flood the dream with feelings of fear, joy, or anger. That combination, a quiet inner critic and a loud emotional alarm, creates the raw sensation of reality. But not all dreams that feel real happen during REM sleep. Sometimes a dream from deep sleep carries a weight that is just as powerful. This tells us that the feeling of realness is not locked to one sleep stage. Something more fundamental is going on deep inside the mind's construction machinery. When you are awake, your senses constantly feed the brain information from the outside world. A chair feels solid because your eyes, skin, and muscles agree on its presence. In a dream, the sensory doors are mostly closed, yet the brain still builds a chair that feels solid. The brain does this by running its own internal models of what the world is like. At night, the storyteller keeps telling stories, but now the pages are blank. The tale is drawn entirely from memories, emotions, and expectations stored over a lifetime. Because the same storytelling networks are active, the dream can feel indistinguishable from waking experience. A dream argument can raise your heartbeat and tighten your stomach just like a real one. Your body does not always know the difference between an imagined threat and a real one. This is why you can wake up sweating, angry, or overjoyed from a scene that never happened. Yet not every dream achieves this level of intense realism. Some dreams are hazy, fragmented, and vanish the moment you open your eyes. Researchers have found that dream vividness depends on how much emotion is stirred during sleep. Dreams that carry strong emotional charge are more likely to be remembered and feel real. The personal relevance of the dream's theme also plays a major role. If a dream touches on a current worry or an unresolved conversation, it gains extra weight. Your brain may be rehearsing difficult social situations while you rest, sharpening emotional readiness. This rehearsal theory helps explain why dreams can feel so urgently real. The simulation is not random fluff. It is the brain preparing for challenges yet to come. During the dream, you are not just watching a movie. You are living the practice round. However, this tidy explanation quickly opens yet another question. If the brain is merely rehearsing, why do some peaceful nights produce terrifyingly real nightmares? The answer lies in the way the brain processes intense emotions during sleep. During REM, the brain often reactivates memories that carry unresolved emotional heat. It may try to weave these memories together, seeking a resolution that softens the sting. Sometimes the process succeeds, and a troubling memory loses some of its power overnight. Other times, the weaving amplifies the fear, producing a nightmare that shocks you awake. That nightmare can feel more real than a calm dream because fear sharpens every detail. A threatening scenario demands your full attention, and the brain obliges with heightened clarity. Now consider what happens when you first wake up from such a dream. The emotional residue remains in your body for several minutes or even hours. You might feel irritable with a partner who, in reality, did nothing wrong. The dream has temporarily colored your perception of the actual world. The brain does not simply switch from dream mode to reality mode at the sound of the alarm. The two states may blend during the transition, a phenomenon called sleep inertia. During sleep inertia, your brain is still partly running on the dream's internal logic. That is why a dream can influence your mood until the morning fully settles in. And here arrives the central reversal, the insight that changes everything. We often believe that reality is solid and dreams are shadows. But the feeling of reality itself is a construction, a prediction, assembled by the brain. Whether the input comes from eyes and ears or from internal memory, the brain uses the same assembly process. A dream feels real not because it mimics the outside world perfectly. It feels real because the brain's reality-making machinery is still running, even when the doors are shut. This means that every experience you have is, in a sense, a dream guided by sensory data. When the data is turned off during sleep, the dreaming continues, raw and unconstrained. So the intensely real dream is not a glitch. It is the brain's most honest performance. The emotion, the vividness, the conviction, all are features of the brain's normal operation. The only missing piece is the external world pushing back to say that did not happen. This insight flips the original puzzle on its head. The surprising dream is not more real than the waking world. The waking world is simply a dream under tighter constraints. Understanding this can make the lingering dream less frightening. It transforms the morning confusion into a glimpse of your own mind's creative power. Now return to that moment by the phone, the hand still resting on the screen. The dream argument feels freshly real because your brain is still waking from its internal rehearsal. You can take a breath and remind yourself that the emotional rehearsal is finished. You can notice the tightness in your chest without believing it requires an apology. Over time, you can learn to welcome vivid dreams as the mind's nightly workshop. Some practical steps can gently influence the kind of workshop you visit. Keeping a regular sleep schedule helps your brain follow its natural dream rhythms. Reducing stress during the day may soften the emotional heat that fuels nightmares. If a dream disturbs you, writing it down in the morning can create distance and clarity. Naming the emotions the dream stirred often reduces their lingering power. These small acts do not promise to erase nightmares or guarantee pleasant dreams. They simply give you a more active role in the conversation between waking and sleeping. The dream that felt more real than your own bedroom was never a sign of something broken. It was a reminder that your brain is tirelessly weaving meaning from moments, memories, and feelings. Every morning, you rise from a world entirely of your own making. And that is perhaps the most real thing about you.